Okay, I think I might have gotten too many out here. I wanted to give you some resources. Hi, this is Aurora with Supercharged Science, and I have a whole bunch of book resources that I wanted to share with you. So if you're working through the algebra curriculum that I put together, that's fantastic. If you just want some resources on your own, this hopefully will be a good list for at least you to get started with. Okay, so the first thing, since I mentioned the algebra course, if you haven't already heard of the Key to Algebra workbooks, this is by McGraw-Hill. You can work your way through these. There's 10 workbooks for algebra. I use these with my own kids. One of the reasons I like them so much is because they're really self-explanatory and the kids can go through it on their own. They have it for different topics as well. Another one of my kids is working through the fractions. We also have, there's decimals, percents. You can see there's one for decimals. We haven't cracked open the percents one yet, but I like them because kids can just pick them up and do them. And they usually get so inspired that they wind up doing way more than they would expect to. So they're real workbooks. And so I really enjoy that. Just seeing them light up that they're like, ooh, I get to do this on my own. Okay, books. Okay, so I have quite a few. So if your kids really enjoy like secret codes and ciphers, there's a secret, the kids Code and Cipher book. You can see that here by Nancy Garden. Another one is Secret Codes, Ciphers, and Secret Writing by Marvin Gardner. Now, Marvin Gardner is an amazing individual. He wrote to the Scientific American for I think over 30 years. And over the years, they've compiled his articles and his writings into books. And so I think I've got like a dozen of them. These are all Marvin Gardner. So you can just look under his name and find all kinds of titles. My Best Mathematical Logic and Puzzles. So he is by far one of the greatest contributors of all time to the field of math and science in terms of coming up with really cool stuff you can do. If you're interested in binary or in different number systems, how to count like a Martian is another good one. You can this one's a little bit older. You might have trouble finding it, but you can see in here it's got lots of really good content. And if you have younger kids, especially ones who maybe aren't ready for algebra and they're still learning, you just want to inspire them and really get them excited about science, Aha and Gotcha, also by Marvin Gardner, are two really good ones. And so you'll see them in here. Sometimes they're text, sometimes there's pictures. There's lots of pictures about mathematical puzzles that you can give to kids to work through them. So that's a really good resource as well. 65 short mysteries you solve with math. My kids usually read these before bed and then kind of think about them, and in the morning usually pop up with the answer. So that's another good one you can take a look at. And this is another Secret Codes. This was from the 60s. I don't know if you could still find it in print, but it's got little science projects you can do in there. Here's another one by Marvin Gardner. This one's more advanced. Hexaflexons, probability, and paradoxes. There's a Flexagon book that is also really good for geometry. I don't have the copy now. My daughter's got it because she's working through it. Secrets of Mental Math. Marvin Gardner also did Mental Magic. And Arthur Benjamin has a Secrets of Mental Math. So both of these guys are both really awesome. You can check both of those out. If you are teaching math to your kids, Dr. Wright's Kitchen Table Math is a series that you can work through. I use these with my own kids. And in the algebra course, when I said, and I have a bag and you have a bag, we're solving systems of linear equations simultaneously, that came from this set of books. And so there's a lot of games in here. It's not really meant as a textbook you give kids to work problems out of. Instead, as a grown-up, you're the one who is going to be reading it and then doing that math activity with the kids. So it makes it really easy to do. So he's got a 3-book set, and it actually, I think, goes all the way through 8th grade. So, okay, next bit, we have, thank you. And so my daughter just brought this in. This is the fantastic Flexagon book. So if you like geometry, you like building stuff, she made some amazing different mathematical things that you can actually, they invert, they flip around. It's like Rubik's Cubes, but for your hands. It's really awesome. So you can make kaleidocycles and hexaflexagons and so many other really neat things. So that's the fantastic Flexagon book, and it's got cutouts, so you just cut them out. Of course, she scans them, prints them out because she does multiple ones. Also, from the great courses, Arthur Benjamin, who also did the mental math. So he has a DVD course, which is really amazing. It's called The Joy of Mathematics. And so it's a 2 DVD set, and it has a little book with it. He is a professor at Harvey Med. He's incredible. So I've used his for inspiration. He really is an amazing teacher for math in general. And my favorite math puzzles and math riddles of all time are called cryptorhythms or alphametrics. And if you've got a kid, this is the kid version of it. You can take a look. It's sideways arithmetic from Wayside School, and they have you starting off right off the bat, solving math problems right in the middle of the book. And so if you're a grown-up and you want to do these, then these are the books. This is a book series. There's a number of these. You can take a look at the cryptorhythm books in here. And so I think these are from like the 60s or the 70s, forward by Marvin Gardner. So these guys tend to go in circles. And so it's got really good puzzles in here that you can look at. I'm also working through Arthur Benjamin's new book. So I'll let you know how I like that. So just because I'm a math geek. So one of the things I just wanted to put out there is, you know, people do math a lot of times, it gets lost in the shuffle, like what's it for, and getting lost in like all the details. Kids often wonder, well, what do I got to, when am I ever going to use this? So there are 3 different areas that Arthur Benjamin had put out, and I really like this. And he talks about how you want to do math. We do math for calculation. You know, how far did the football fly? How powerful is that catapult? You know, can it reach over here? Well, tell me about the car that's moving. So we do calculations, and there's a lot of drills and worksheets and workbooks out there for honing those skills. But sometimes we don't always connect it with the everyday world. So just doing math for its own sake sometimes gets lost in the shuffle, and kids need to know what they're doing it for. You actually have to apply it to the real world. Math is the language of science. And so you have to, it's important to do the skills, and we're going to focus on those in our math courses, but you also need to know how to use those skills. You know, it's not enough just to know how a hammer works or how to operate a screwdriver if you've never actually used it in the real world, right? If you know how, you know, everything about the shape and what the hammer is made out of, but if you've never actually used it, you know, how useful is it? So we're going to teach you all the different math tools. So we've got calculation, we've got application, and this last one I want to show you is called inspiration. So notice how big this is. This is a big artist sketchbook. Inside of here is math, but it's done for inspiration. So for example, my daughter loves to draw, so she's drawing knots. Knots are related to math. And so by doing math for inspiration, and you can create these beautiful math journals and just have kids play around with the ideas, just make it big, make it colorful, and really put the art back into math, just because it's just so much fun. And so having a notebook or a journal along with it, it doesn't look like a typical math book, does it? Yeah, so you can do math for calculation, you can do it for application, and you can do it for inspiration. And those 3 together pack a really powerful punch in terms of really instilling a love of learning for a lifetime. Okay, that said, let's go ahead and get through our math course. If you've already worked through it, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's really made a difference for you and your family. Go ahead and drop me an email anytime. Let me know what you think of this course, aurora@superchargedscience.com, and I will see you soon in the math lab.